Manx Radio's Countryside is brought to you by NFU Mutual.
Hello and welcome to this week's Countryside. I'm Simon Clark.
And I'm Kiri Kermode. This week I have a preview of the Isle of Man Food and Drink Festival with Lucy Verdon from DEFA.
I went along to the Ballaugh Horticultural Show and also I visited the Farmers Market outside the courthouse in Ramsey. Well, Kiri, welcome back. How was your trip to Spain?
Well, what a beautiful city Seville was. We were only there for the weekend, but very diverse and championing local produce, and even went to see the bull ring where the famous bullfighting is. Thankfully, there was nothing on, but the great history and heritage and why that spectacle occurs was very fascinating.
Yeah, and you've been away at sales as well, and extraordinary prices getting paid, aren't they?
This is it. There's always a little bit of a higher price at the breeders' sales, the Texel in particular, the breed there up in Scotland at the Premier sale. Yes, 200,000 is an awful lot of money for a...
£200,000?
Yes, a lot of money for a Texel ram, but the best of genetics and the best of breeding. And it's maybe they say that's too much for a sheep, but many farmers, arable farmers, will invest in machinery that's close onto that. So it's just different types of farming.
Yeah, you'd be scared to let that one out in the field, wouldn't you?
Wouldn't you just?
Well, the farmers' markets are increasingly popular here in the Isle of Man, and more people going there, displaying their wares and selling it. All the produce from the Isle of Man, which is one of the categories that you have to, or the boxes you have to tick to get involved in it. I went along to the farmers' market outside the courthouse in Ramsey and spoke to some people who were displaying there. Firstly, I spoke to Dot Price.
Brilliant venue. Sun shines on the righteous, so they say, and it shines on us most Saturdays. We're here every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. with all local produce, baked goods, Manx crafts. Everything is locally grown. We've been in Ramsey now, this is our 13th year, but this is the best venue we've had. Lots of the Isle of Man Farmers Market stallholders have found this a favourable spot, and we've brought a lot of people to this end of the town, which the traders are pleased about too.
Yeah, now how long have you been situated outside the courthouse here in this venue?
Since last autumn. Andy Cowie, who's the chairman of the commissioners, invited us to have a market to see if we liked the venue, and it has proved very popular. We're outside when it's nice and sunny, and we've got the option of going inside in inclement weather.
Right, so is it the same sort of traders that have been here since the start when you started out in Ramsey?
I'm the original, the one and only. I've stood many's a time on my own, but no, B&M Catering were with us at the very beginning, had a little rest in between. They've come back. Susie is a regular farmers market stallholder. She's been here even before we moved to this venue. We've got Martha's Kitchen. He comes from Douglas every Saturday, does a roaring trade in pies and pasties. We've got the Isle of Man Goats, who of course they've got their lovely goat's cheese. Sometimes they've goat's meat. They also have the nice socks that they do. They do a lovely feta cheese. Oh, and she also does some goat's tartlets.
But you've been here a long time with it. You've got your own place where you grow all of these homemade.
Yeah, we grow just at the Doer, a mile and a half north of Ramsey. We are market gardeners. We've only got 8 acres. What we don't grow, we will sell other people's produce as long as it's Manx. We haven't got room for spuds, so we get our spuds from Neil's of Lochdow. Everything else we grow, so it's all Manx. And if I don't grow it, as I say, I'll sell somebody else's, and I do the barter system. Today I had Manx grapes, and I did the barter system with the grower, and she got cucumbers so she could juice, and I got the grapes, which I've sold out.
Really?
Yeah, brilliant.
But this is ideal. You've got people who are generally shopping on a Saturday in the Parliament Street here, and it's great to see a few people up the north of the Isle of Man shopping, because other places have sort of taken over a little bit, haven't they?
I don't know. I think people like Ramsey because there's so many individual shops, and as well as the market, there's so many individual stallholders. We've got great crafters here as well. They use Manx wood. Some of the Manx wood turning stuff is brilliant. We've got a guy here called JJ Woodcraft who makes fabulous bird boxes, wishing wells, windmills, all sorts of things. Well worth a visit to come and even look at it. Ideal for presents. Something different.
Yeah, but you've got all. How much work goes into as a market gardener?
Well, Robin and I, he does all the growing. I do the sowing. We sow a lot in modules. Some things we sow direct in, but I do the sowing. He does all that, and then we pick and pack together. And it is a full-time job. But the nice thing is when you're your own boss, you can take a break whenever you want to. You can come in till 11 o'clock and have a break. You can go out again, do a bit more, come in for lunch, whatever. So it's really what we want to do. We work as hard as we want to do, but we enjoy doing it.
Yeah, it's hard work, a lot of hours.
Yes.
You'll probably never make 10 million this year.
I wish. No, but yeah, it gives you a nice steady income, and we supplement it, of course, with our jams and marmalade and everything, because we grow the fruit as well and the herbs, and we do a fabulous lemon curd with our free-range eggs. It's very popular.
So let's get a chat with one of the newest exhibitors at the Ramsey Farmers Market. I'm talking to
Pippa from the Natural Apothecary.
Now, Al, are you one of the latest ones to this? Now, how did you get involved in the farmers market?
Through my friend, actually. She was going to come and she was going to have a stall, but it fell through. So that's how I met Dot, and then I just came down one Saturday and away I went.
Now, what is it that you've got? There's some lovely aromas coming from the wares you've got here. Tell us about the products you make as well, don't you, as well as
so my newest product that I've recently made is called a Sleepy Salve, and I've harvested some Bollanbane. I've got chamomile and lavender. I infused that into hemp seed oil and turned it into a salve to help people sleep. And the Bollanbane in there will also induce some dreaming too, bring on some dreams.
Really? So this, I mean, how did you get into all this to start with? I mean, you make these products yourself. I can see the little fir tree on the side or the top of the lid there. Yeah. You said that these are gathered from walks you do?
Yeah. I love being out in the countryside, and I'm very passionate about natural healing methods. So I bought a few books and I've taught myself from there.
And that's quite recent here, is it?
Yeah. I have done a herbalism course as well, which I passed back in June, and I'm now studying advanced herbalism too.
Now, this little green pot there, is that something to do with helping with bruises, is it?
Yeah, I read in a book that daisies are really good for healing bruising, so I went out in the summer and harvested some daisies.
Yeah. And
I've turned that into a bruise balm. Like, I bruise like a peach, so I've been using it on myself with great success, but I'm quite clumsy sometimes, and I do bang myself, so I'm prone to a few bruises.
And yeah, but I mean, how has it taken off? Because a lot of people enjoy this sort of thing nowadays. They try and with the recycling side of plastics in the news, and people are trying to use as much natural products as they can.
That's right. Lots of people will come to my stall and they'll ask lots of questions, what all the different things do, and sometimes they don't buy anything, but then the following week they may have read up on it, done a little bit of research for themselves, and they're more open to it, and they come back and they like to purchase.
So are you on any of the other tour venues, as they call them?
Tour venues.
The other farmers markets.
I'm hoping. Well, Dot's just actually sorted all my paperwork out, so I'm able to go to the other farmers markets around the island. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting stuck in and venturing off around the island.
Excellent. Well, it's great to chat to somebody new and a new venture that's here on the Isle of Man, and especially at the farmers market here in Ramsey.
Thank
you. I feel hard of leaving this aroma now.
It smells good, doesn't it? Thank you.
Well, let's have a word with Claire Lewis from High Tilt Goat Farm, and you've been at the farmers market quite a while now.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, Simon. It's a few years now. We've been doing the goats about 7, so probably 4 or 5 years we've been part of the farmers market.
Yeah. Now you've, I suppose I say recently, but it's probably a while as well. You've started your own goat's cheese as well.
Yes, it's over a year now. We've been doing goat's cheese. We've gradually increased the range. So we're doing lovely soft spreadable chèvre cheeses. We've got Great Taste Award for one. We've got Great Taste Award for our milk, for our goat's milk. And also our fetas. Our fetas sell really well. And we even do halloumi.
And is this been do you think there's been a growing trend in the market? That I suppose when you look around, there's a lot more vegetarians and things like that about it. Does this help the side of it with the goat's cheese and the fetas?
I think, to be honest, we'd have done dairy much sooner, but I had to persuade Mike because he is a dairy farmer's son, and he said to me right from the beginning, don't expect me to milk anything unless there's like a welfare issue, if one kid's and you got to take a bit of milk off it or whatever. He said, don't expect me to ever milk anything, Claire. So it took me 5 years, Simon, of drip feeding, and Mike was heard to say at the Royal Show, I think to Willie Christian, he said, should have listened to Claire years ago. So, yeah, we're well on the way with the cheese. We love doing it.
Yeah,
it's lovely.
What about the process for milking the goats then? Because you've got quite a few of them. I mean, do you have machines like the big dairy farms?
No, I wish we did. At the moment, so we've got some young... Well, our dairy herd is all mixed ages, but our oldest girl is 10. She's never ever been on a machine. Why would I want to stress her? There's probably lots of farmers out there going, oh, come on, Claire,
2019.
Yeah, just chuck her on a machine. But no, she's this wonderful old girl. She's actually matriarch of the whole dairy herd. She knows she's the boss. I wouldn't want to put her through it, but next year when our younger girls kid for the first time and they come into milk, then we have got a little milking machine, like a little portable one. But I have been assured, if anybody's worried about this, I have been assured by the food safety officers that it's not about having a great big milking parlour. We're allowed to hand milk. It's what we do with the milk afterwards, and we do pasteurise everything.
Right.
Yeah.
But you've branched you've got some lovely homemade goat's cheese tartlets and things here.
Yes, we do a whole range of our own goat's cheese tarts, and all the pastries handmade by us. It's all Manx flour, it's Manx creamery butter. Obviously the goat's cheese is all our own, and we do sausage rolls with sausage meat from Tia's Butchers, and then we put all added ingredients in, lovely caramelised onions and nutmeg and things. And I am so passionate about Manx food, and I really think that, we just shouldn't be importing stuff that we can grow here. I mean, this week we've got beautiful apples for sale straight off the tree this morning. And you can come to the market, you can come and buy from local businesses, and it's better for us, and it's better for the island, and it's better for the climate, it's better for everything. It's a win-win-win-win-win situation.
Well, I've been lucky enough to see it grow from when you first started to how it's going now, and it's very encouraging as a Manxman.
Thank you. We all try really hard. Next week we won't be at the farmers market because we'll be off to the Food and Drink Festival and serving up hot goat curry and hot goat burgers again. So no rest for the goat farmers.
Claire Lewis, Pippa, and before that Dot Price for all displaying at the farmers market outside the courthouse in Ramsey. Loving that venue there, and what a lovely day it was, seeing people walking up and down the street bringing their own bags and just pleased to support the local produce that's there.
Local people are really embracing the local produce, and it's so important to support all of these people that try so hard to bring it to the forefront. And like you say, it's a great venue, isn't it, just there? And Ramsey's just a lovely town now.
Yeah, shining by the sea.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's what's great about it to me as well. You can go there for the veg, the homemade jams, lemon curds and everything like that, homemade cakes and produce. But there's also the Manx made healing, natural healing, lotions and things like that. Homemade wooden carpentry things there as well. So there's something for everyone.
It is about time, isn't it, that local produce like that can be developed and have an outlet for it to come into the community for people to buy up. But the time and effort that people have gone to training to learn how to make all these things, to do things, to make the best, and it saves, food miles, all of the environmental things, carbon footprint. It's huge now, the environment, and this is just part of it.
Yeah, and you'll see probably a few of those at the Isle of Man Food and Drink Festival, which is coming up shortly, Kiri.
Yes, a busy time ahead for the people getting organised for the Food and Drink Festival on Saturday the 14th and 15th of September. And I caught up with Lucy Verdon from DEFA to have a bit of a preview. Lucy, a very busy few weeks for you on the run-up to the Food and Drink Festival. Are you all organised?
I think so, yes. It's fair to say that we've got a lot going on. I mean, it's great that there's such a packed programme ahead of this weekend that we're looking forward to. And all of the producers involved, there's a real buzz about it already. We're hoping to bring lots of new things to the event this year. So we're welcoming new producers into the Manx Produce Marquee, like the Gourmet Donut Company, Sugar and Spice Bakery. And then we've got obviously our festival VIP joining us this year, who is Selassie Bormitter. He was previously of the Great British Bake Off, very topical at the moment with the new series out.
It's huge, isn't it? It's grown. I know you've been involved for a couple of years now, Lucy, but this is your first year undertaken from Audrey Fowler, who's still in the background, I believe. A great experience for you.
Yes, I've been involved on and off for the past few years anyway, so it's not completely brand new to me. Audrey has been great, staying on to help, a great helping hand. She knows the ins and outs of everything. But yeah, it's a privilege really to be involved in such a high profile event that I think is the showcase of local food and drink. And, it's a really fun filled weekend for all the family, but it also provides that opportunity for people to learn about provenance and traceability, how to reduce your food miles. We've got a focus on sort of better waste management this year as well, and working with people like Beach Buddies and the Western Civic Community Site to kind of engage and educate the younger public as well in how to better take care of our biosphere, really.
And that is absolutely the forefront of everywhere now. The carbon footprint, food miles. This is, like you say, a great place to showcase everything that's local. But there's lots of people to help, get that business to that forefront.
Oh yes, definitely. I mean, when you talk about help, wouldn't be anywhere without our sponsors, I must say. The Stars Group, this is for the third year running that they're our headline sponsor, and we've got a whole team of silver sponsors behind the lines as well, who are incredibly grateful for their support. And people like Beach Buddies and, UNESCO Biosphere this year working with us. It wouldn't happen without them. It's great.
Well, this is it. And if you're a new business person starting out in the food and drink industry, I believe it's a great place to start to promote their business.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that's what, one of the reasons why the festival was designed to begin with. It's an excellent platform. I think it's quite high up there in the foodie calendar. It's now quite well recognised. Everyone knows when it is and where it is. But that's what we're really looking to achieve here. A lot of businesses will start with us for 1, 2, maybe 3 years, but then move on from there. Same applies to all those young musicians, who are on the music stage as well. And in the Manx Produce Marquee, for instance, this year the Department for Enterprise will be in there as well, who will be on hand to talk with anyone out there, who's looking to start a new business and needs some guidance through any of the schemes that they have available.
Yeah, and I think that is the utmost, isn't it? To get the support behind, because there's so many entrepreneurs out there with a great idea, but may not have the finances behind them or whatever it is to get going. But you say it's a family weekend, and the Children's Marquee is always mayhem.
Yes, it is. I mean, it's free entry for children under the age of 16, so for families to come along, it's really cheap way to entertain your kids for the weekend. The activity marquee is sponsored by the Buchan School again this year, and they'll have lots of hands-on crafty activities involving food and drink. We've got the Farm in the Festival as well, sponsored by the Manx NFU with goats. There's a milking cow. We've got Manx Lockton there this year from Island Sheepskins, Jim Middleton. And we'll have a family activity quiz as well for them to head around the festival looking for the fairies. Lots on for them.
And also, like you touched on about the stage, the evening entertainment, it is always a big plus for Douglas.
Yes, so we have free entry after 5 o'clock until 9 o'clock when the festival closes, and we've got May Chalice who's headlining. Drinks will be flowing from the festival bar. We've got the hot dog eating competition at 6 o'clock in the Manx Cookery Theatre. And then our VIP, Selassie, he will be taking you through his journey from amateur to professional pastry chef as well at 7 o'clock.
That was Lucy Verdon from DEFA.
And that's another big event. You know, when you look at the figures of the amount of people that come in and out of the gates on the Saturday and Sunday, that the emphasis is on food and drink, and that's something I think that's increased more than anything. The amount of brewers and the distilleries that are popping up around the island.
It is huge, and it's so nice that local people are turning into entrepreneurs and developing some of these really, really great homegrown produce here on the Isle of Man and turning it into such quality products. And it's invaluable, the local support and what's getting fed back to all of the growers and producers and all the people behind the scenes. And it's just a great place to celebrate the quality and diversity the Isle of Man has.
Yes, so go there and check it all out. You're listening to Countryside here on Manx Radio with Kiri Kermode and myself, Simon Clark. Well, there was a big event happening in Ballaugh at the Bowling Club last weekend, and I went along to the Ballaugh Horticultural Show, and I spoke to the secretary of the event, Kelly Corran. It's been a mighty turnout. I couldn't even get parked today.
Yeah, it's been a great turnout. We've got lots of flowers in this year, lots of veg, lots of cakes, lots of arts and craft, a bit of everything. Really good show.
Yeah, has it always been this popular with all the variety that you have in the shows?
I think, to be fair, it differs year on year. Last year we didn't have as much veg and probably not as much flowers, but I was away last year, so I missed a show. But we had it later in the year, later in September, and I think the time of year does affect what entries we do get into the show.
But there's people that have been round Ballaugh village and from the outskirts as well that have been showing in this show, and families and generations, really, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a family event and definitely a community event. Everyone gets involved and chips in.
I like to see the schools involved in these sort of things and the youngsters, and there's lots of good prizes for them as well to encourage them.
Yeah, so for the kids prizes, they all win some money. The winner also gets a rosette for their entry, and the school really does support us, and if it wasn't for the school, I think we'd struggle for a lot of entries in the arts and craft.
And the arts and craft thing as well, we see it in the WI tents and the different classes that are in it for flower arranging, tapestries and things like that, crocheting, and it's great to see them on exhibition in here as well, because they are works of art, aren't they?
Oh, they really are. A lot of time and effort's gone into them. Like you said, a crochet, like that can take hours, days, weeks, to finish, even months. So a lot of effort goes into it and a lot of time.
What about the vegetables themselves? Do you ever get the chance to get some onions or big marrows and stuff in?
Well, maybe not so much some big marrows, but me and my husband have started doing veg with the help of his father, and we've put quite a bit of veg in this year, and we will continue to do so, but a lot of effort goes into getting the veg ready as well.
But there is something about that when you dig your own little potatoes, pull your own little carrots that you've got in your own bit. It just adds to the flavour, and it makes you want to eat them, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. They definitely taste better homegrown, without a doubt.
And what about the main prizes for juniors and for the seniors in this year's show?
Okay, so for the seniors, for the most points for the child in the parish, that was won by Niamh Madden. And the best in the children's section, which was the opener's choice, was also Niamh Madden. The best adults for the most points was jointly won this year by Lenny Fenton and Lob Lane Co-op, and the best entry in the adults classes, which again was the opener's choice, was John and Emily Corran, which was for some leeks. And we also have a new award. It's been going on for a few years now. It's called the Cacan Award, and it's for the person or persons that contribute the most to the show, whether that be entering, helping. It's all sorts of things that it adds up to. And the winner of that this year was Rebecca Ratcliffe. Not only has she entered a lot of classes, she's been a little star and helped us. She's been here setting up in the evenings with her mum, and she's been running around all day today for us. She's been an absolute credit to the Horty show.
Yeah, and they're few and far between with youngsters in this day and age, aren't they?
Absolutely, and we've got to make them feel welcome, and Otherwise, the show won't go on in future years. We've got to keep the young ones keen and interested in it. Also, we'd like to say a big thank you to all our committee members who give up their time to come and help put this show together. Their families, their partners, their children, everyone has a hand in helping it, whether that be collecting tables, putting entries in. If it wasn't for the support, the show wouldn't go ahead.
Secretary of the Ballaugh Horticultural Show, Kelly Corrin. I love going to those horticultural shows, Kiri, because there's so much there for everybody, as Kelly was pointing out. There's all sorts of homemade items, and the kids are getting involved, and the vegetables that were there. And good to see numbers were better than last year, obviously, with the weather.
Oh, they're absolutely so well supported. But it's such a fun day out, isn't it? And it's so good for young people to get involved and keep those old shows alive. They're up 70, 80, 90 years old, or even older, some of them. And just to keep the spirit there. But fierce competition in some of those classes.
There are. And the lovely thing about it as well, it's happened at the Ballaugh Bowling Club. They had a junior bowling competition going on at the same time. And the proceeds from it all go to help the Cubs, Brownies, all the sort of activities that they have in the parish, the village, which is great.
It's so important to get involved with the community, isn't it? Put these events on. It's great for children to get outside and do something, because you see this now, the generation of the iPad and sitting indoors. But these events are fab. Down the hedgerows, pick a bunch of old flowers for the wildflower class, and who knows, you might come away with a couple of prizes.
Indeed.
Simple.
All right. We'll leave it there for this week, though. We're back next Tuesday with more from the countryside. So for me, Simon Clark.
And me, Kiri Kerwood.
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.